Welcome back, guys, to another Dragon Ball Legends video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of the best teams for Ultra Beast Gohan. I'm going to show you guys the teams that I've been running myself off and on camera, as well as the teams that I think that he just really works well on or has potential to work well on. And with that being said, I will be putting out showcases for most of these teams. If you guys want to stick around, those will be up later on in the week. And with that being said, let's just go into it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The first team we're taking a look at is a pretty obvious one here. It's going to be using Mr. Daima Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Goku with a Zenkai bench on there, as you guys can see. We are going to go ahead and change out Bardock for Gogeta Blue, because at the time when I was running this team, it was with Mr. Bardock because of Gogeta Blue not being out yet. But as we are seeing now, Gogeta Blue doesn't even fit this team anyways because of Z ability. So we're probably still going to just stick with this in terms of this variation of the team. The reason this team, I think, is honestly probably Beast's best team, or at least in his top 3 teams at the very minimum, is because one, Daima Goku is just a phenomenal unit for the meta right now. He is absolutely amazing because there's so many yellow units to worry about, and Daima Goku does an excellent job at dealing with them, both offensively and defensively. He's an astronomically brilliant unit in that regard. And 3Q is just a also top tier meta pick. He does a lot of things. He makes it very easy to counter rushes. He makes it very easy to just do damage, have long combos, and stall out to get that special beam cannon. Obviously, Beast Gohan Zero, it is his team. Now, the issues that I do have with this team would be, one of them is for sure that this team, while it is pretty durable, it's not the most durable. And you can definitely burn through this team's HP very quickly. However, the other side of it is, if you are comboing with this team, they do take a very, very good chunk off of that timer count to get you to that special beam cannon. So I would really recommend you guys use this team more so if you're very good at playing offensive and catching your opponent constantly, rather than something where you have like a fallback if you get caught, which you do have some, but at the same time not a lot. Like if they don't need rush, they don't need a rush to kill your Daima Goku. They don't need a rush to kill your Beast. They don't need a rush to kill your 3Q. You do lack endurance on this team if you don't get rushed, which is where Daima Goku would be really good. And you do have a lot of buff canceling, but you do also need people that are able to eat it with that buff canceling, which this team isn't the greatest at doing. But it is a very fun team, and it does work very well in the meta. Probably my favorite Beast Gohan team right now is this team, but I have not experimented too much with the Godku variants yet, which Godku did just get a plat, and he is absolutely phenomenal. And I do think I'm going to like him more than 3Q, so we'll go ahead and see where that plays out when we get to the Godku part, where we talk about a couple teams that Beast and Godku have. Second team here is going to be this Hybrid Saiyans team with this type of bench. The reason I think this is also one of his top 3 teams is, one, he gets access to being able to run the Hybrid Pure, which is very good. You can choose to run that. Obviously on this setup, I'm choosing not to run it. That's just because I like my Beast to have a little bit more HP. And also because he's not Zenkai buffed here, so I don't know if I want to really go for a Hybrid Pure on him. But the reason that I think this team is really good is because Mr. Red Gotenks, again, a lot of yellows in the meta, and Red Gotenks is absolutely phenomenal at dealing with said yellows, while also providing you cut pen support that's consistent for your Beast Gohan, on top of his own personal cut pen, which very well synergizes into itself. And then, although Ultra Gohan is damn near a year old at this point, he still holds up very well on this team because, one, he has the yellow to cover his purple weakness, which there isn't that many purples for him to worry about in the first place because of all the yellows that are running around. And then 2, his gauge is still one of the most toxic and one of the most useful mechanics in the game that you can very easily play with, as well as his obviously blue card being a counter. And he does tank decently well, and he has a good LMS option if you don't have Beast left over. And they all just synergize very well with color as well. You have red, green, and yellow. You're covering all your bases with that. And they have access to some of the best equipments in the game because hybrid equips are very, very good. The reason we go for this type of bench specifically, though, is because this type of bench will Zenkai buff your Gotenks and your Ultra Gohan while giving your Beast Gohan strike attack. So in a sense, you have a strike and blast bench going on the bottom, which will work very well in getting your Gohan and your Gotenks enough blast for them to be successful, while giving your Gohan enough strike for him to also be good. And that's where that kind of bench helps us here. You can replace Pan with Gotenks. You can run any HP bench you really want. Pan is just here because she gives a little bit of crit chance. Not too crazy, nothing too important. You can change that out however you want. The third team here is going to be probably the most toxic team in the game, and it's where you're running MV, Beast Gohan, and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan together. The reason I'd say this is the most toxic team in the game is because you have two of the most disgusting counter gauges of all time on one team. The only one that isn't here that would be very disgusting is G4, but the reason G4 is not here is because obviously there is already one double yellow on the team, and two, G4 is not doing too hot with all the yellows that are releasing. He's very much so counted out of the meta right now. But Green Gohan, on the other hand, can counter a blue card that MV uses off gauge, and that helps him out very well there. The reason we went for a double green bench there is obviously to disable Zenkai buff the Ultra Gohan. He needs it more than everybody else that is there. That's really the only reason. Nobody else there really needs a Zenkai buff to function, but Gohan could definitely use the Zenkai buff due to his age. And it overall just functions very, very well as a team. You're able to stall out pretty easily between Ultra Gohan and MV to go ahead and get that Beast Gohan Special Beam Cannon off because of all the counter gauges that you do have. And, I mean, you get one pick with MV's ultimate, you get one pick with Beast Gohan Special Beam. That's pretty much just GG right there. You might as well pack it up, and there's not much you can really do at that point. And even if that doesn't happen, I mean, you saw Gohan's ultimate, which will do a massive amount of AoE damage. And there's overall just not a lot of stuff you can do against this team if you run into it, man. You really do have to specifically be trying to counter this team if you do run into it. Third team here is kind of a fusion variant with Beast Gohan on the leader. This is a variant of him with VB and Gotenks. So similar thing to what we did with the hybrid team, you're covering your bases with the red, green, and yellow. But the benefit you get here is you have fusion, so you have a fusion bench. We went for obviously a Strike Zenkai buff on Gotenks, that is the red Gogeta down there. We have the purple SV giving HP and strike attack. And then we have green Gohan there, it is Zenkai buff and get some blast attack to the future, to Vegito Blue. And it overall just works really well. Obviously Vegito Blue is a better unit than Ultra Gohan, but in the sense of this team isn't as much of a Beast Gohan show, more so a team show. The other team obviously is a more so of a Beast Gohan Gotenks show, but this is an overall team effort, and it does feel very good because you do counter other people's MVs out very well. You counter MV with both Gotenks, Beast Gohan, and with Vegito Blue. You can counter him out with killing him with Special Beam Cannon lock-in. You can just not care about his gauge with VB, and you have Red Gotenks also just doing his stuff, man. So you have a lot of different options to deal with things there, and that's why this team just functions very, very well. It's probably my second favorite version of Beast's teams to run, but it's definitely very good. Definitely very good. Now, a third, not a third, I actually don't know what team we're even on at this point, to be honest. I think we're on like 5 or 4. But Turles is, I think, Beast Gohan's best partner in crime. Beast Gohan essentially just replaced Triku on every team with Turles and gave it strike variation. But, I said let's take it a step farther. Obviously, you would want to run Gogeta Blue on bench here now that he is out. You can go ahead and do this, and that'll give you a much better bench than what we had previously. There we go. We're going to put that last equip on later. But on this team, the thing that's really good is Beast and Turles both tank very well on this team. And you have 2 double offense benches right there that are Zenkai buffing. Makes it very easy for your strike and blast units to be good, which is why Turles and Triku on this team both do very good damage. And Triku's constantly providing support to both of them. They have a lot of disruption, they have a lot of tankiness, they have a lot of healing, they have a lot of anti-canceling. It's just an overall very, very good team. This is very similar to, obviously, some people running Goku Black, Triku, Turles, or I think somebody was running like Boo Boo Yellow, stuff like that. But the reason this team just is so good is because you can stall out so long because of how good Turles is and how good Beast is. You counter like 3 rushes pretty easily, you counter ultimates pretty easily. You can end up just getting 2 special beam cannons to win if you really wanted to, if you even need to. You don't usually need to, but if you do need to, you can just use 2 special beam cannons to kill units. And it's so strong on this team because of all the support Triku provides. Triku provides a ridiculous amount of amp for this team, and that's why this team works as well as it does. Triku obviously a lower hand pick right now. Not a lot of people are using him, but he still holds up pretty well. Better than Ultra Elefroze. Elefroze wishes he could be half as good, but that is that. Now another variation of a team with Beast and Turles obviously now is going to be this new Godku that did just get his plat. He is very, very good. You can go ahead and run him on a team with Turles to look like something like this. And what I would do, obviously, change that middle equip out for a different equip for Godku, since he isn't going to be getting that full equip here. But this guy, man, this Godku feels absolutely amazing. He feels like a competitive unit. And this is the last team we're going to be covering in this segment. And I think that's just fair. I don't really think you want to run them on a team with GV. You could obviously do that if you wanted to. You just replace Godku here with GV, and you can do that if you want. But I'm not personally a big fan of GV. We'll do a showcase for them as well. But I think this is probably going to eventually end up becoming my favorite team for Beast Gohan. But for now, that is going to cover all the different teams for Beast Gohan that we have come up with. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you decide to try some of these teams out, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. With that being said, this is Kaizer, signing out.